Hey guys, it's Caroline, career and leadership coach. And today I want to address something that a lot of people are facing in this environment, and that is fear. And we all face it in several degrees. Some people get really anxious. Some people are able to cope really well. Some people can pass through it. But fear is one of these things that we have to face, because if we don't face our fears, it's going to keep us stuck. It's going to block us. It's going to paralyze us. And here's the thing. If you get paralyzed and stop moving forward, if you stand still, you go backwards and you miss out. You miss out on opportunities, you miss out on gaining your confidence and you miss out on so many things. So we want to make sure that we recognize that. And so I wanted to talk today about, like, not only is it time to be brave, and it is time that we can accept and give ourselves permission to be vulnerable, because a lot of people are in a situation that they're in for the first time. So let me give you an example. I was talking to one of my clients, and she had never been without a job. So the whole being unemployed and looking for a job and being in a competitive market, all these factors just were very overwhelming. And even though she's a very confident, powerful, strong woman, like, she inside, she felt teeny weeny and broken, because it was like she needed to put herself vulnerable. And for example, coming to me took a lot of courage, and it wasn't something she decided overnight that she could deal with and she wanted to do. So it's very important for you to first of all acknowledge your fear, and then basically take the next step forward, because otherwise, like I said, if we are stuck, then we're going backwards. So I see, you have to imagine that there are three lines. One is green, one is amber, and one is red. So what happens is they all start on the same level. So every single line. But the red one at the end goes down. And those people, they are paralyzed. So they are paralyzed to what's happened, and it goes down. And they don't know what to do, and they just have fear of changing. Not a fear of changing, let me rephrase that. Their things are changing, but they don't know how to just adjust themselves and keep up with those changes. So that's the red line. Then you have the amber line, and the amber line goes up and down, but really doesn't make big waves. And those are people that actually, like, sometimes get the courage to do something, but then actually step back in the comfort zone. And at the end of it, they will just like stay in the same situation that they're in the same position. And then you have the green line, and that starts at the same, just like everything else, but it goes upwards at the end. And those are people that are thriving. So they're taking time. They're not paralyzed. They're not really accepting the status quo. They are able to have a curious growth mindset. So we all know about having a growth mindset, how important it is to actually stretch yourself and to push ourselves outside a comfort zone, because we know that when we push ourselves outside our comfort zone, that's where the magic happens. That's where we grow. But it's easier said than done. And I know. And that's also one thing that I wanted to talk about, is where I see fear showing up over and over again. Because one of the first steps to face your fears is becoming aware. And so that's why I wanted to outline where I see it from an external point of view, showing up in your job search, so you actually can take it by the bull by the horns and just like deal with it. So the first step is, like, when people want to ask for a promotion, or even for a salary increase. They don't do it because they assume that because it's a pandemic, because times are bad, this is never going to happen. So they're already making an assumption. They're already making the conclusion of what's happening without even taking the action. A second one is the fear of going for the next step. So if you're in between roles, I see so many people that are now looking actively for a new position, but so afraid that what they want is in their words not realistic, so that they actually go for something else. Now, going for a stopgap role, that's absolutely fine. And that's one of the strategies that we work on with my clients within my program. But it is not out of fear that you have to do that. It's part of your strategy. So if it's driven by fear, you actually are just going to say like, okay, there's no point looking even for or applying for the next step roles because I don't have that job title, I'm not good enough, blah, blah, blah. And you just like downplay yourself massively. Another big fear way that I see fear showing up is with salary. Oh my God, people just like are already, like before they even have a salary conversation with a recruiter, with HR about the job, they're already like saying that they will accept 30 to 50K less, which is, again, it is fine if it's part of your strategy. It's not okay if you do it out of fear because you think it's not going to get better or get anything. I know people that actually increase the salary with 30 to 50K in this market. So it is not always the case and always the truth that it's that you already have to decrease. Sometimes you have to. That is fine, but don't go into a conversation or a negotiation already at the lower end. Hold your pride. You have skills and experience. You have made sacrifices. In the beginning, you can hold your pride and hold your salary in your own mind before you actually decrease it. And you can say that to me if I'm your coach, or you can say that to anybody else. But you have to be careful because your words are very powerful. Because you have thoughts and your thoughts come out through your words. So if you constantly say like, oh, I'm going to lower my salary 30 to 50K, 30 to 50K, then guess what will happen? You will lower your salary 30 to 50K. Likewise, if you say like, look, I will be flexible on my salary, but ideally, this is what I want. This is what I want. It's just like your mindset and how you enter and the energy you carry when you enter a negotiation, when you enter a conversation, when you talk to recruiters and so on. So please definitely stay strong with your salary because you have worked probably bloody hard to be at the level that you are today. And you have made probably a lot of sacrifices. And without having a definite strategy, I see people decreasing their salary with 30, 50K, but it takes them so long because they don't have a strategy to get back up to where they once were. Some people haven't recovered from the last global financial crisis in terms of their salary because they just like don't know how to manage that. Another one that I see often is a fear of changing jobs. Like a lot of people that are still employed, that are in a toxic environment or in a job that they're soul destroying. And they think like, now is not the time to change. Now is not the time to change. But instead of like still working on their career strategy, and when I say career or job search strategy, that could be like making sure they stand out, making sure that they're ready, like when the market is back picking up, that they're the first one to get interviews. And at the moment, the people in my program, they are getting interviews. There is a lot of activity going on. So if you are actually doing nothing at all and just like thinking like, okay, it's Christmas, people take the foot off the pedal, I'm not doing anything, that is not really the attitude to have. Get your ducks in a row and don't let that fear factor just play your mind like, okay, I don't want to change, because there's a big difference between getting your ducks in a row and making sure you're ready from when the market picks up and when that opportunity comes along, that you don't have to scramble for everything frantically because you're not ready. And I will give you a classic example of two calls that I've had recently. Is people that didn't expect it, suddenly were called in for an interview, and they weren't part of my program, nor did they work with me, but they called me and they said, like, Caroline, can you help me with interview skills? I have an interview tomorrow. And it's like, no, it doesn't work like this. Interview skills is not like something you do once and you just like learn. Interviewing is a skill you can learn, but the only way you learn something and master something is by practice. So if you wait too long till you see a job to actually practice your interview skills, it's too late. If you think like, oh, my interview skills were always good, I always get a job. Guess again, in this job market, showing your capability is not good enough. You really have to know how to navigate the interview process, know how to position yourself as the best and obvious candidate. So yes, you might not want to change and dive in heads first now, but you want to be ready. And that's really what you want to make sure, that you are ready from when that ideal job comes up, that you have everything in place to be successful in landing that job. Another one that I see is that people are afraid to invest in themselves. They get on the call with me, very excited, like, oh, I have this problem. I'm unemployed. I don't find any jobs. And then it's like, oh, but yes, there's an investment attached to it. I'm not going to lie about it. And the return on investment can be massive, because if you have a job, it pays back for itself automatically. But people are afraid to initially take that step and think like, oh, no. Instead, what I'm going to do is just like go over it again and just doing the same thing that I've been doing time and time again. And yes, I expect a different outcome because I think it's external and I think like the market will change. Well, I have a news flash for you, and that is the wrong mindset. So what I want you to do is shift your mindset, is to think about what is in my control. How can I control and be in the driver's seat of what is happening? So the best analogy that I can give you is like, a lot of people are in a passenger seat. So imagine that you're on a highway and you go left, right. It's like in Hong Kong or Bangkok. Sorry, not Hong Kong, Bangkok, on the highway. And it's just manic and you have to navigate the traffic. If you're a passenger and you just sway from left, right, center, and you don't know what's happening, you go with the flow, but you just like have no control whatsoever. That's how most people are in their job search and in their career. So what I want you to do is actually shift from the passenger seat to the driver's seat, and actually like be in control of where you're going. It's like, I want to be there and I'm going to go to that point, and they drive basically their car to get there to that point. And yes, you have external factors. You still have traffic lights, you still have crazy other traffic that might actually interrupt you, but being in the driver's seat, you can say like, let's take this shortcut, let's navigate this way. So, and that's what I want you to do. You will always have external factors, but don't expect them to change for your results to change. Be in the driver's seat and take control of where you want to go. Teresa asked, the problem is in what to invest in yourself. I would say like, depending on where you want to go in your career. So you have to first say, is this a job search or a career investment that I want to make? Career investment could be a longer term career investment. Say that you say like, look, I'm in a situation that I want to do an MBA, for example. And so that is going to be a career investment, because an MBA or further studies, I love studying. So don't get me wrong. I always would encourage people to study, but an MBA is not going to get you an immediate job in the short term. So you have to think about that. And so if you want to invest in your job search, then it might be like, okay, I'm not getting anywhere. I'm applying for roles and not getting any responses. I'm going for interviews and not landing any job offers. Then you have a problem. Acknowledge that problem. Put yourself in the driver's seat and think like, what is the one step forward that I can take? And that could be as simple as reaching out to me to see how we can work together. So because this is what I do. I help people that are stuck in their job search, like move forward and land the next role. So I hope this helps. And I hope you can, first of all, can start pinpointing your fear so that you can actually increase your awareness. And then what I want you to do is think about what is the one step forward that I can take, because I don't want to be stuck in my fear situation. All right. Hope this helps. Thank you so much. If you have any questions, please direct message me with your questions. I'm more than happy to help out. Otherwise, if we are not connected on LinkedIn and you just randomly came through this video stream, then connect with me on LinkedIn. More than happy to expand my network, because the more people I can reach with my message, the better. And otherwise, I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much.